I'm Anil Kumar, and in these set of videos, I'm going to discuss with you how to solve quadratic equations. In part 2, we have taken special kinds of quadratic equations and we'll follow different strategies to solve them. The idea is to understand these strategies. We have 4 questions on this page. I'm not going to solve all of them in this particular video. I'll discuss the strategy and then solve question number 1. In the following videos, you can find solution for question number 2, 3 and 4. Question number 1 is 4a square plus 11 over 3a equals to 5. Question number 2 is x to the power of 4 minus 5x square plus 4 equals to 0. Question number 3 is x minus 1 over x whole square minus 7 times x minus 1 over x plus 12 equals to 0. And question number 4 is 2 to the power of 2x minus 12 times 2 to the power of x plus 32 equals to 0. You can copy these questions, try solving them, and then look into my suggestions. Now, as you can see, all these 4 questions are related with quadratic equations. The first one involves fractions. So the strategy for questions which have fractions is to get rid of fractions. So the strategy here is get rid of fractions. Now how do you do that? You do it by multiplying by the lowest common denominator. In this case, denominator is 3. So in such questions, what you should do is you should multiply each term by 3. So the question here is 4a square plus 11 over 3a equal to 5. So we'll multiply each term by 3. So it becomes 3 times 4a. This becomes 3 times 11a over 3, and that becomes 5 times 3. So now, as you can see, it could be simplified and written as 12a square. 3 and 3 cancel, so we get plus 11a. 5 times 3 is 15. We can bring it to this side, so I'm doing 2 steps here. 15 equal to 0, right? So now we have a very familiar quadratic equation, and these kinds of quadratic equations can be solved using quadratic formula, correct? So this could be solved using quadratic formulas. Let me give you a quadratic formula here. So in this case, the variable is a, but I'll write in general. If the equation is ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0, then x is equals to minus b plus minus square root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a, correct? So that gives you possibly 2 values of x. If the term in square root is negative, then we have no solution, correct? Okay. Now, so you can use quadratic formula and get the solution. Let's look into question number 2. Here we have x to the power of 4. Quadratic equations have power of 2. So we can do a substitution. We can say let x square equal to a, right? In that case, x to the power of 4 will be a square. Is it okay? Now if I do this substitution, question number 2 will become what? X to the power of a square, so I can write this as a square minus 5a plus 4 equal to 0. So now I can always solve for a, right? I can solve for a. We could use factoring technique in this case, right? So the second strategy what you could do is use factoring technique. And let me solve this equation here for you. So we have a square minus 5a plus 4 equal to 0. We are looking for two numbers whose product is 4 and sum is minus 5. That could be minus a minus 4a, right? That gives you 5a equals to 0. And then you can factor out a here, so get a minus 1, take 4 common, minus 4 common, a minus 1 equals to 0. And then what you get is a minus 1 times a minus 4 equals to 0. Now when you factor, each factor can be equated to 0. So we get a equals to 1 as one solution and a equals to 4 as the other solution. However, you have to find what x is. Do you see that? So x squared is a, remember that, right? So that means now what you have to do is use a is x squared. We need to find what x is. This is very important, correct? So we say x squared equals to 1, and here we say x squared equals to 4. Now if x squared is 1, what is x equals to? Can you write that down? Well, the answer will be plus minus 1 and plus minus 2, right? So we have these 4 answers. That will give you square root of this. So whenever you do square root, let me do it here, as that is also a mistake when sometimes the students will do. We'll write this x as plus minus square root of 4, and that gives us plus minus 2. Do you see that? And here we'll get x equals to plus minus 1, right? So we have these 2 answers which I have mentioned here. I hope the strategy is clear. So what we did was that we substituted a square for x to the power of 4, converted this quadratic equation as quadratic equation to get an idea, right? Okay. Let's get to the next one. The next one here is x minus 1 over x whole square minus 7 times x minus 1 over x plus 12 equals to 0. Now following this strategy or substitution, we can do a substitution here also. So we can substitute x minus 1 over x as something else, right? So let me use p for example. So let's we can actually solve all these questions here. So let's say p is equals to x minus 1 over x. As soon as I do this substitution, I can rewrite question number 3 as p squared minus 7p plus 12 equals to 0. Do you see that? Now, you can factor this. We're looking for 2 numbers whose product is 12, sum is minus 7. They are 4 times 3, right? So you could write this as p minus 4 times p minus 3 equals to 0. That gives you, let me write down the solution here. That gives you p equals to 4. Now if p is 4, what is x? You have to find that. And that gives you p equals to 3. Is that okay? So we know p is 4 and p is 3. You'll have to further solve it. Okay, so let's continue. So we have x minus 1 over x equals to 4. You have to get the x value here. So that means you have to redo the whole question. With the quadratic, multiply by x, we get x squared minus 1 equals to 4x. On the other side, we get x minus 1 over x equals to 3. And that will give you x minus 1 equals to 3x. Bring the terms together. I'm sorry, this is x squared. So we get x squared minus 4x minus 1 equals to 0. And here on the right side, we get x squared minus 3x minus 1 equals to 0. Now at this stage, you can again apply the quadratic formula, right? So we say apply the quadratic formula, which is this one, and find the value of x. Do you get an idea, right? So that is how you're going to solve question number 3. And now let us see how to solve question number 4. Here we'll make a substitution. It is 2 to the power of 2x minus 12 times 2 to the power of x plus 32. So we'll substitute for 2 to the power of x some number. Let us say, let it be n, right? So here we are doing question number 4 now. I'll just give you the strategy. Substitute 2 to the power of x as, let's say, a number n. Then you can write this 2x, then to the power 2x will be n squared, correct? So we can write this as n square minus 12n plus 32 equal to 0, right? 32 you can find 8 times 4. So you can factor this, n minus 8 times n minus 4 equals to 0. So you have n equals to 8 and 4, and n square is 2 to the power of x, right? And from here, you know, that is 2 to the power of x is 8. That means x equals to 3, and 2 to the power of x is 4, right? So you can find this as the answer. X is, from here, you can find the value 2 to the power of what is 4, right? So it is, we can take log and figure it out. Is it okay? So from here you can take log and find this answer. Is it okay? So that is how you could actually do this. Or you could do 16 square root is 4, right? So or you can say 2 square is 4. So x is equals to 2. So what we get here is so let me write down answers here. So we get x as equal to 2 and 3 for this particular question. Is it okay? So in a way, I just ended up in solving all of them for you, except for applying the formula for the very first one and solving. The idea was not to solve them. Anyway, I hope you understand and appreciate how to solve such quadratic equations. I'm Anil Kumar, and if you like, you can put some likes there. Feel free to share my videos with your friends and post questions and comments. Thank you and all the best.